I love a great story, and this is one of my absolute favorites. The inspiration was kind of the story. I love the story, and I have 5 kids, so we watched the Disney version endless times throughout the years. And when Ricky asked me to write it, we got together in the summertime the year before, and we decided how we wanted to tell a story, what characters would be in it, you know, what is the structure, do we have sisters, do we have a brother, do we have the candlestick? We said no. Ricky had an idea to have a monkey, which turned out to be actually pretty funny. And but the inspiration really just came from the story and the characters. And along the way, it was a very emotional year for me. We really didn't start working on it until January, and it, premiered in May 3 years ago. And it was about the time one of my brothers, my next older brother, got diagnosed with cancer. 6 weeks later, he passed away. 6 weeks after that, his wife passed away. So it was very emotional. Right when I found that out, Lily, who was doing beauty, she found out she was pregnant. She came out to me all excited and said, I'm pregnant. I said, that's awesome. And she didn't know about what happened with my brother, and I shared that with her, and it was just like one life passed and another life's coming in. And all throughout the rehearsal process and the writing process, these emotions were there of death, life, love, true love, sacrifice. They both had cancer. They're taking care of each other. They were a big inspiration to me for writing the piece. Well, it's funny. I had the idea to do a narration, but Ricky didn't want to do that because we had done it the year before with Duckling, and I said, I really feel it's going to be important to help tell the story, especially the children's audience. We're aiming for that really young group, and I said, I definitely would like to include songs, and he said he really didn't want to do that either. But, along the way he said, I see the value in that. And I said, they'll be in the pit, they won't be on the stage. My daughter was a senior in high school at that time, a really pretty voice. I said she would be the heart of beauty. And one of her classmates who had graduated the year before had more of a trained voice. And I said, I see him as the heart of the beast. And they'll just here and there during a pas de deux to help express what's going on stage. And he liked that. But it took a while to sell him on the idea of the narration. He said, I don't want another character. And I said, I get that. And I went away and I came back, I said, I have 5 kids. I said, what if I was the storyteller from the piano? I said, we just use a mic. And I said, I'll play the overture with the musicians. And I said, and then I'll just bring it down, I'll look at the crowd and I'll say, I love a great story. And this is one of my absolute favorites. And that was enough for him. He said, okay, I like that. So then we went with that, and it was very powerful. I thought it was a good way to help tell the story, and it personalized it too. Well, I had the idea to do these variations that kind of helped Beauty once she got into the castle to assist her, and Ricky wanted that. It gave a chance to do some solos, some dancing. And I said, what about if I used a keyboard for that, and used down there, we had a really nice harp sound, a flute sound, things like that. We could expand just sonically what the people were hearing. And then we were going to have a live violin. A girl from our church actually said, she heard me rehearsing at the before one of our practices at church one day. She goes, I would love to play that on violin. And I said, yeah. I said, I would love that too, but we don't have a budget. She said, I would do it for free. I said, you're kidding. And she said, no. And I said, Melissa, yeah, let's do it. So she rehearsed with me. She performed with us here, just to do it. She loved the music. She loved the story. And the other parts I played on the keyboard, it just rounded it out kind of nicely. It gave it a little more color. One of the challenges was, how does Beauty get from her home, where she lives with her family, to the castle without a curtain closing? And so they came up with this idea for, we called it the magic vortex. It happens 3, maybe 4 times, where there's a swirling and kind of smoke. It's hard to explain, you kind of really need to see it. It's kind of a cool effect. And so when she's ready to go back, either way, from the castle to her home, or the father goes back, there's this music that happens, and this visual effect on stage where she kind of disappears, and then through lighting and all, then they're actually quickly able to go to the next scene. Because we wanted it to be a one act, since it's for children, and really make it accessible for families. And so it's a pretty cool effect, and we said, well, what causes that? How does she do it? We came up with the idea of a ring, and she twists the ring, and I go, boom! And then play the crazy music, and then the thing happens, and she's transported. It's pretty magical.